Hey guys, Nick Hustedde here, Technical Service Manager for FMC. Today I have you with me in a cornfield in southern Indiana where we're doing a follow-up visit from a previous investigation where we did document pretty high levels of soil insect pest damage. So as producers, we really strive to establish that uniform picket fence stand. And that's what's going to allow us to set our yield trajectory and optimize our potential later in the season as we run the combine. So as we consider the soil insect and disease pests, oftentimes we allow those seed treatments to do much of the heavy lifting. And so they can be very effective early in that plant's life, but especially as we plant earlier, we're stretching the overall efficacy expectation for those products. And so as we think about some of those seedling pests that we're dealing with early in the season as it relates to insects, wireworms, grubs, seed corn maggots, and then as we think about the disease complex, certainly we can deal with Pythium, Fusarium, and Rhizoctonia in a corn production system. It was getting a little bit windy, so we decided to take the discussion indoors. And what I wanted to do is kind of step back in time and show you what these spots look like at emergence. And as I mentioned, we had a relatively high level of seed corn maggot pressure, enough that it was taking out a significant portion of the stand. So just a brief description of the life cycle for seed corn maggots. They will overwinter. The adults typically emerge in late April, early May, mate, and then those females will subsequently lay their eggs in our freshly planted corn and soybean fields. So those fields that have a higher risk for seed corn maggot damage would be the cover crop situations, or maybe those with a history of manure application. So as we jump into the treatments at this site, as we pane down the row for the check, we notice missing plants and a significant reduction in stand. This would be a replant scenario. As we dig those seeds up, what we notice are seed corn maggot larvae feeding directly on those seeds, keeping them from firing, but also those larvae feeding on plants that have not yet developed their nodal root system. So they're still living off that seed reserve, and that larva is actually depleting the reserve, so it will result in reduced vigor and lost plant over time. So as we move into the treated portion of the plot, in this particular situation, we did select capture LFR at 4 fluid ounces per acre, and you can see the activity out of bifenthrin, which is a very stable pyrethroid molecule in the soil, providing that activity and keeping the stand intact and preserving overall uniformity and yield potential later into the season. So as we think about this particular scenario and we move into the 2023 season, we certainly want to take notes of this and adjust our management programs appropriately. But in terms of specific recommendations as it relates to our liquid fertilizer ready portfolio, we really like capture LFR at 4 to 8 fluid ounces per acre. If we get in higher pressure, we probably need to be on the upper end of the rate spectrum, and also be mindful that we could also have wireworms or grubs out there, and this product's going to be good on those pests as well. As we move further north in the state, we could be dealing with corn rootworm, and we'd want to bump the use rate up to 8.5 ounces or higher. But as we think about other pests such as seedling diseases, including Rhizoctonia, Pythium, Fusarium, implementing an Ethos XB type product with our starter fertilizer would also be a good option. And as we consider the carrier volume, we really like the higher use rates, closer to 5 gallons per acre, and that's going to allow us to access more of that soil profile and potentially more of those pests. As we consider our foaming platform of the Thrive 3D materials, for captured 3D, we'd be at that 4 to 8 ounce use rate, and then moving into Ethos 3D, 4.6 to 8.5 ounces. So with that, I really appreciate you taking time to watch this video and wish you the very best in the 2023 season.